Stage as something drastically different from the book.
Well, there was no wicked witch, and the lion hardly had a part at all.
You see, I originally wrote a draft from a script that hewed pretty close to my book. But then the producer, Julian Mitchell, decided that it needed some major revisions. So the story of Dorothy going to see the wizard received many, many embellishments.
What were some of the changes that were made?
Well, as Mrs. Baum said, they got rid of the Wicked Witch and replaced her with a plot involving the wizard as a usurper of the throne of Oz. The lion's part was reduced, and the Scarecrow and the Tin Man were reworked into a comedy duet. They had many songs and numbers that had nothing at all to do with the story of Oz.
Yet, in spite of the changes, it was hugely popular.
I would say it was due to the changes that the show was a success. Producer Mitchell really knew show business, and he knew how to sell it to the public.
Oh, don't be so modest, Frank. Without your characters of Dorothy, Wizard, and the Scarecrow, and the Tin Man, and your amazing land of Oz, it would have been just a run-of-the-mill vaudeville show.
It sounds intriguing. Can you tell us something about the story and the songs?
Well, the show opened with a cyclone on that Kansas farm. It was a very elaborate effect with all kinds of objects and people flying across the stage. Dorothy gets blown to the fantastic land of Oz along with her pet.
Toto, her dog?
No, this time it was her pet cow named Imogene.
Imogene? Her pet cow? Imagine that.
And Dorothy wasn't alone in her misfortune. No siree. You see, that cyclone was mighty busy, and it swept up some people from Kansas City as well, such as a motorman named Pastoria and a waitress named Trixie Trifle.
Trixie Trifle? There was really a character with that name in Oz?
Yes, there really was a character with that name. And there was Cynthia Cinch, the Lady Lunatic, Sir Wily Guile, and Sir Dashimal Daly, the court poet.
I don't remember any of those in my copy of The Wizard of Oz.
And you won't find them there. They only existed in the stage production.
How did you feel about all of these changes to your book?
Oh, I didn't mind much.
In a pig's eye, you did. My poor Frank was so worked up about it, he lost sleep for weeks. He couldn't stand what they were doing to his story and characters.
No, I never said that, Mom.
You didn't have to. I could see how you were suffering.
All right. I'll admit to being a little uncomfortable with the alterations at first. But once the show opened and became a hit, I realized that Mr. Mitchell was on to something.
So you relaxed a bit after that.
Yep.
And after finishing its run in New York, the show went on to tour the country for several years.
It brought my friend more fame than ever.
I agree with that. My greatest success seemed to stem from that production.
Well, here's someone to tell us all about it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the original Dorothy from the Broadway production of The Wizard of Oz, Miss Anna Loughlin.
Lovely to see you, Mrs. Baum.
So nice to see you again.
Reviewers have described you as a laughing, dancing little sprite. To what do you attribute your success in the show?
Oh, it's all due to Mr. Baum's wonderful story. I couldn't put it down when I first read it.
And yet, the play you were in had little to do with the original story.
Yes. Well, one always expects the stage version to differ from the book. As an actress, I'm used to seeing changes made. It took them a long time to get the script to its finished form. And then I'm not quite sure it ever really was finished because they kept adding songs and taking songs away.
that it made the show fresh?
Well, it certainly wasn't stale.
How do you feel about being adored by the critics and the audiences?
Goodness, who wouldn't want that much love? It's been a delightful experience, thoroughly delightful.
Would you be willing to perform one of your songs from the show?
Well, of course, I've prepared one just in case you might ask.
Oh, we'd love to hear it, dear.
Yes, indeed.
It's called The Milkmaid Song, written by Mr. Baum with music by Paul Tejas. Mr. Baum, and I was so proud to do it.
Now we're going to hear from another cast member. The man was a well-known performer before Oz came along, but his success in the play made him practically a superstar. I give you the original Scarecrow from the musical extravaganza of The Wizard of Oz, Mr. Fred A. Stone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Tell me, Mr. Stone, what did you like best about playing the Scarecrow?
Well, he's a very limber fellow. He's stuffed with straw, you know, and that makes him gangly and awkward. And because he's brainless, he tends to babble without thinking beforehand of what he's going to say.
Is this a new kind of role for you?
Let's say it's a chance to put together elements of other things that I've done previously. I've played comical parts before, but the Scarecrow is a unique creature, thanks to the inventiveness of Mr. Baum here.
Well, thank you for your good words, Mr. Stone. I must say that I don't believe any other actor in our time could portray the Scarecrow as well as you did.
And how did you like appearing nightly on stage with this young lady?
There couldn't be a better ingenue than Anna. She plays our Dorothy to perfection.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Stone. But I couldn't do half as good a job without the help of a wonderful, experienced actor like you.
Just say it, Anna. By experienced, you mean old.
I mean mature.
You see? Even out of character, she's as sweet as can be.
My husband and I have both loved your performances, Mr. Stone. But tell me, how do you manage to stay so still during your first several minutes on stage? Everyone in the audience is always startled to see you move and come to life.
I keep my mind occupied, Mrs. Baum. Chiefly, I contemplate the marvels of Mr. Baum's fairyland and the wonderful opportunity it is to portray one of his famous characters.
Some of our audience may not have seen the original stage show. So how does the Scarecrow get brought to life?
Well, the Good Witch gives Dorothy a magic ring. Dorothy makes a wish, and the Scarecrow comes to life. She doesn't do it on purpose, so she considers it a wish wasted. But for myself, I feel it was a wish used to excellent effect, because it gives me a chance
mind honoring us by performing that scene from the show? As you can see, we've got a background all ready for you.
Yes, I'm sure we'd all want to see it.
Please do.
I'd be delighted, Ozprah. What do you say, Anna?
I say let's do it.
While we're getting ready, I'll set the scene. Following a huge windstorm that has uprooted many people and things from Kansas, Dorothy has just arrived into the land of Oz. She is journeying to see the wizard in order to get back home. On her way, she stops at a cornfield to rest, and she has a most unusual encounter.
Oh, well, isn't this cheerful? Nothing in sight to talk to but this scarecrow here. Well, as queer as he seems, I'm so lonely I wish he were alive.
Good morning. Thanks awfully for bringing me to life. Isn't this lovely weather for July?
Oh, the ring, another wish wasted.
Would you mind taking this golf ball out of my ear?
Oh, golf ball.
It's in my other ear. That puts me one down.
You seem well posted.
If I wasn't well posted, I couldn't stand up.
Well, what I mean is, you seem to know what's in fashion.
For a long time, I've been just behind the style.
Don't you think you're smart?
I don't think at all. I haven't any brains.
No brains.
There's nothing up there but a handful of Excelsior covered with a dish rack. When the farmer was filling me with hay yesterday, he said, "I guess I'll shake him." When I saw the size of his hand, I knew it was on me. He jabbed his pole up my back and said, "You're stuck." That put me up in the air where I've been for the last 24 hours.
But you're alive now. How are you going to earn a living without any brains?
I won't be lonely. Will you help me down?
Certainly.
I'm getting a bad pain in my polar regions from lack of exercise.
Oh, can't you walk?
No, but I'll take steps to learn.
Oh, my. You're a loose character. What is your name?
I haven't any.
No name, but you have a family of some sort, haven't you?
Judging from what I'm stuck with, I must be related to Secretary Hay. How about you? Who are you? Where did you drop from? Where are you going and why do you go there? Tell me all about it while I see which way the wind blows.
Oh, well, I am Dorothy, one of the Kansas Gales.
That accounts for your breezy manner.
When I am at home, I am in Kansas. Just now, I'm lost. And I'm on my way to the Emerald City to see the wonderful Wizard of Oz, to see if he will help me.
What, to get back to Kansas? Done. Why trifle with your luck?
Behave. You are old enough to know better.
No, I'm not. I was just born, and it will be 364 days before I have a birthday.
Well, how long do you think you'll live?
If I can escape the cows, until I'm used to stuff a summer boarder's mattress. Do you think the wizard would have a set of brains knocking about his place that would fit me?
He might.
If I thought he could fix me up, I'd go with you.
Well, come along. Even if he's out of your size, you're no worse off than you are now.
We're a nice-looking couple. Suppose we're arrested for vagrancy.
You could give straw bail. Don't you know? I can hardly believe you haven't any brains. How careless the farmer was to leave them out.
Wasn't he? I wouldn't treat a dog that way. Though I appear a handsome man, I'm only stuffed with straw. 'Tis difficult a man to plan without a single flaw. Though you may think my lovely head a store of lore contains, the farmer lack of skill displayed, and quite forgot my brains. When brains are lacking in a head, it's usually the rule that wisdom from the man has fled, and he remains a fool. So though my charms are very great, as I am well assured, I'll never reach my full estate till brains I have secured. Alas, for the man who has little in his noddle that he knows, he's under a ban, and his collar out paid where he goes. He always does the very thing he never ought to do. He stumbles and he fumbles and he's aimless. A lobster is he. For as anyone with half an eye can see, you can beat him, sneer and jeer, for his wheels are out of gear, and it's plain he remains quite brainless.